Be prepared, tomorrow isn't just another Saturday. What most people will write off as a regular weekend day is actually one of the most precisely orchestrated cosmic events of early 2026. And if you're not paying attention, you could completely miss the blessing that's about to land in your lap, but only if you know how to catch it. On Saturday, January 31st, the universe is setting up what I can only describe as a divine detour. Two of the most generous planets in our solar system, Venus and Jupiter, are about to create a friction so specific, so perfectly calibrated, that it's going to feel awkward, inconvenient, maybe even frustrating at first. But here's what nobody's telling you, that awkwardness is the price of admission to something massive. This isn't your typical astrological transit. This is what's called a quincunx, a 150-degree angle that forces two planets that have absolutely nothing in common to suddenly work together. And when those planets are Venus, the planet of love and money, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion and luck, you're looking at what I call an awkward blessing. Think of it like this: you're dressed for a black tie gala and someone hands you muddy gardening gloves and says, "Dig here." It makes no sense. It ruins your outfit. But under that dirt, there's gold, literal gold. The question is, are you willing to get uncomfortable for 5 minutes to claim it? And if you've been feeling pulled in two completely opposite directions lately, like your head is telling you one thing, but your gut is screaming something else, keep watching. Because there's one specific reason this is happening to you right now, and understanding it could be the difference between walking past your blessing and walking straight into it. I'll explain exactly what's causing this later, so stay tuned. But first, you need to understand why tomorrow isn't just any Saturday. Because what's building right now is rare, specific, and about to change the trajectory of the next several months for 3 zodiac signs in particular. The universe is playing chess, not checkers. Let me set the stage for you. We're not just talking about one isolated event tomorrow, we're talking about the crescendo of 2 weeks of cosmic chaos. Since January 17th, when Venus entered Aquarius, we've been in a pressure cooker. Venus met Pluto on the 19th, forcing a complete reset of our values and relationships. Then, Neptune shifted into Aries on the 26th for the first time in 14 years, a generational shift from passivity to action. Mars collided with Pluto on the 27th, clearing the deck with explosive force. And just 2 days ago, on January 29th, Mercury and Venus joined forces in Aquarius, giving us the mental clarity to see what's really happening. That same day, the Moon entered Cancer, its home sign, activating the emotional landscape and preparing to amplify Jupiter. All of this has been building to tomorrow, January 31st at around 10 in the morning. That's when Venus in Aquarius and Jupiter in Cancer lock into their quincunx, creating the cosmic twist that's about to redirect your path. And here's what makes this so powerful. Both Venus and Jupiter are what astrologers call benefics. They're the good guys. They bring gifts. But the quincunx aspect, that's the universe's way of saying, I'm going to give you exactly what you need, but not in the way you expect, and definitely not on your timeline. This is the cosmic equivalent of ordering a sleek sports car and getting a reliable truck instead. At first, you're annoyed. You wanted speed and flash. But then you realize the truck can haul your entire business to the next level, transport your family safely, and navigate terrain the sports car would have crashed on. The blessing was there all along. You just had to adjust your expectations to see it. Tomorrow, the universe is asking you to make a similar adjustment, and for 3 signs in particular, Cancer, Aquarius, and Taurus, this adjustment isn't just recommended, it's mandatory. Because on the other side of that awkward moment, there's a windfall waiting. Venus in Aquarius meets Jupiter in Cancer when logic collides with gut instinct. Let me break down exactly what's happening tomorrow so you understand the mechanics of this twist. Venus is currently in Aquarius, the sign of innovation, detachment, and future-forward thinking. In Aquarius, Venus is cool, intellectual, and values freedom above all else. She wants to network, to think big, to stay light and breezy. She's the friend who says, let's not make this complicated, let's keep it logical. Jupiter, on the other hand, is in Cancer, and not just in Cancer, but exalted in Cancer. This means Jupiter is operating at peak power in this sign. In Cancer, Jupiter is warm, protective, sentimental, and deeply emotional. Jupiter here wants to feed everyone, hug everyone, and make sure the clan is safe and secure. Jupiter in Cancer is the energy that says, forget logic. What does your heart tell you? What does your body need? So tomorrow, when these two planets form their quincunx, you get a clash between two completely different operating systems. It's like trying to run emotional software on a logical hard drive. It doesn't compute, and that's the awkwardness. You might have plans that are perfectly rational, a networking event, a strategy session, a goal you've been working toward, and then, out of nowhere, something emotional, physical, or familial interrupts. A family member needs help. Your body demands rest. An old feeling resurfaces and won't let you ignore it. Your first instinct will be frustration. Why is this happening now? This doesn't make sense. This is inefficient. That's Venus in Aquarius talking. But here's what you need to understand. The interruption isn't a block. It's a redirection. Because while Venus in Aquarius can see the future, Jupiter in Cancer can feel the truth. And tomorrow, the truth is more important than the plan. The detour is more valuable than the destination you originally had in mind. And this is where the blessing comes in, because when you adjust, when you pivot from the logical plan to the intuitive pull, you unlock something Jupiter has been preparing for you all along. And with Jupiter in Cancer, that something is big. We're talking windfalls, breakthroughs, and protections you didn't even know you needed. Cancer, you're about to experience a jackpot moment, but only if you let go. If you're a Cancer, tomorrow is your day. Let me be very clear about this. You are sitting at the epicenter of the blessing. With Jupiter retrograde moving through your sign, you're already in the peak of a 12-year growth cycle. Jupiter only comes through Cancer once every 12 years, and when it does, it brings expansion, protection, and opportunities that change the entire trajectory of your life. But here's the twist for you, Cancer. Tomorrow, Venus is sitting in your 8th house, the house of shared resources, debts, intimacy, and other people's money. And Venus in Aquarius in your 8th house can feel cold, detached, or unpredictable. Maybe a partner is being emotionally distant. Maybe a financial situation involving someone else feels uncertain. Maybe you're waiting for validation or commitment that isn't coming. Your instinct might be to cling, to control, to demand the emotional security you crave. That's Jupiter in your 1st house talking, your need for protection and certainty. But tomorrow's quincunx is asking you to do the opposite. It's asking you to release. Release the need for that specific person to show up in that specific way. Release the expectation that the money has to come from that specific source. Release the grip. And here's what happens when you do. The Moon, your ruling planet, is in Cancer tomorrow, forming a conjunction with Jupiter. This is a cosmic superconductor. This is the universe saying, I see you, I've got you, and I'm about to deliver. The twist is this: by letting go of the 8th house struggle, by stepping back from the negotiation table, by giving your partner space, by releasing the financial anxiety, you create room for a completely different opportunity to flood into your 1st house. This could be a personal windfall, a sudden boost in your reputation, a physical vitality that clears up a long-standing health issue, an offer that comes out of nowhere. The blessing you receive won't come from where you were looking, it'll come from where you stopped looking, and that's the magic of tomorrow, Cancer. The moment you stop forcing, the moment you trust, the floodgates open. Watch for lucky breaks that come through family connections, real estate, or your own personal magnetism, but they'll only appear after you've made peace with the initial plan falling through. Aquarius, the duty you avoid today becomes the fortune you claim tomorrow. Aquarius, you are absolutely magnetic right now. With the Sun, Mercury, Mars, Pluto, and Venus all in your sign, you are the main character of January 2026. You're shining, you're attractive, you're ready to assert your new, transformed identity and take on the world. But tomorrow, Jupiter in Cancer, sitting in your 6th house of work, health, and daily obligations, is about to crash your party, and it's going to feel annoying. The sixth house is the house of duty, service, and routine. It's where the boring, necessary work happens. And with Jupiter there, that work isn't small. It's massive. It's a work project that suddenly explodes in scope. It's a health regimen that demands your immediate, rigorous attention. It's the pile of emails, the overdue tasks, the physical body saying, "Hey, we need to handle this now." And Venus in your first house is screaming, "But I wanted to socialize, I wanted to be seen, I wanted to shine." The twist for you, Aquarius, is that the boring duty is actually the golden ticket. Here's what nobody tells you about the sixth house. It's the house of mastery. It's where you prove your competence. It's where tangible results are created. And Jupiter in the sixth house promises that the work you do tomorrow, the work that feels like a buzzkill, the work that makes you want to cancel plans, is lucrative, it's valuable, it's the setup for something massive. So when tomorrow arrives and you have to choose between the social event and the deadline, between the party and the gym, between fun and function, choose function, choose the duty, because the blessing is hidden in the chore. Maybe you skip the networking event to finish a proposal, and that proposal lands you a promotion 3 times bigger than any connection you would have made at the event. Maybe you cancel plans to rest, and that rest prevents a burnout that would have derailed your entire February. Maybe you go to the doctor's appointment you've been avoiding, and you finally get the diagnosis that solves a chronic issue. The adjustment feels awkward because it's unglamorous, but Jupiter doesn't care about glamour. Jupiter cares about growth, and tomorrow your growth comes through submission to the work. Trust the interruption, Aquarius. The blessing is in the responsibility you didn't want. Taurus, the small conversation that changes your entire career. Taurus, you might think tomorrow's transit doesn't involve you directly, but you'd be wrong. Venus is your ruling planet, which means any aspect Venus makes, you feel personally. And tomorrow's twist is tailor-made for you. Here's your geometry. Venus in Aquarius is transiting your 10th house of career, reputation, and public standing. This is the house of your empire, your legacy, the image you project to the world. Venus here makes you attractive to authority figures, clients, and the public. You look good. Your work is being noticed. You're building something. But Jupiter in Cancer is sitting in your 3rd house, the house of communication, siblings, neighbors, and local community. It's the house of small talk, emails, short trips, and everyday interactions. And tomorrow, these two energies are going to clash in the most inconvenient way. You're going to be focused on the big picture, the career move, the professional image, the reputation, and something small is going to demand your attention. A neighbor needs to chat. A sibling calls with drama. A casual email thread turns into something emotionally heavy, and you're going to think, "This is a distraction, I don't have time for this." But here's the twist, Taurus. The small thing is the big thing. The 3rd house and the 10th house are connected by a natural sextile, supportive angle, in your chart. What feels like a trivial conversation or a minor local event is actually the key to your next major career breakthrough. Maybe you run into a neighbor while taking out the trash, and they mention they're looking for someone with your exact skill set for a massive project. Maybe a casual text exchange with a friend leads to an introduction that changes everything. Maybe you write a simple email or social media post and it goes viral, bringing you public recognition you never expected. The blessing for you, Taurus, is that the million-dollar idea is hidden in the small talk. The empire-building moment is disguised as a mundane interaction. So tomorrow, don't ignore the little things. Don't dismiss the local, the casual, the conversational. Pay attention to what your immediate environment is telling you. The adjustment for you is simple. Shift your gaze from macro to micro. The big win comes from the small gesture. And when you make that shift, Jupiter rewards you with public recognition, career advancement, and a tangible result you can build on for months to come. How to navigate tomorrow without missing your blessing. Let me give you the roadmap for January 31st so you can move through this energy with grace instead of resistance. The morning is when the quincunx peaks. The friction is highest. You'll feel it as a sense of this isn't what I ordered. Plans may change, emotions may flare, logic and gut instinct will be at war. Do not force the original plan. Pivot immediately. The faster you adjust, the faster the blessing arrives. Midday, the moon in Cancer separates from Jupiter and the intensity softens into a warm, protective energy. This is when you'll feel the pull toward comfort, family, or chosen family. Honor it. Eat good food. Seek connection. Rest if you need to. This is the bridge between the awkwardness and the blessing. The evening is when the realization hits, the resource that was saved, the person who was met, the bullet that was dodged. It all becomes clear. You'll look back at the morning's interruption and think, oh, that's why that happened. The key to tomorrow is this: trust the detour. The moment something feels off plan, don't fight it. Ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? Because the universe isn't punishing you with inconvenience. It's redirecting you toward abundance. And remember, this isn't just a random Saturday. We're in a waxing gibbous moon phase, the phase of perfecting and refining before the full moon. Tomorrow is your final course correction before a major manifestation. The adjustment you make tomorrow sets up the payoff you receive in the days and weeks ahead. The shift you'll feel when the dust settles. Here's what most people won't realize until it's already happened. Tomorrow isn't just about one awkward moment. It's about a fundamental shift in how you operate. Venus and Jupiter are teaching you something critical. The best things in life don't come from rigid plans. They come from flexible trust. When you wake up on Sunday, February 1st, something will feel different. You might not be able to name it at first, but you'll notice it. That old fear about money or relationships. It doesn't have the same grip. That overthinking that kept you stuck. It's quieter. The weight you've been carrying, maybe for weeks, maybe for months, feels lighter. You'll catch yourself reacting differently to situations. The things that used to trigger you don't hit as hard. The self-doubt that kept you frozen is fading. And then it hits you. You've stepped into a new version of yourself. This is what the awkward blessing was for, not just to bring you one lucky break, but to teach you a new way of receiving. Because when you learn to trust the detour, when you learn to see the blessing in the interruption, you unlock a level of flow that most people never experience. Tomorrow's quincunx is training you for the months ahead. We're in a year where Neptune in Aries is asking us to be pioneers, to take action, to lead. And you can't lead with rigid plans. You have to lead with intuition. You have to trust your gut, even when your head is screaming otherwise. So when tomorrow arrives and things don't go according to plan, smile, because the universe just handed you a treasure map. All you have to do is follow the detour. The twist is the gift. The awkwardness is the initiation. And the blessing, that's what you claim when you're brave enough to adjust. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.